Hi everyone. So far we have learned about a few topics under the class category: class, public, and property. The primary document I chose for this week is Occupy Together, and I will show how this document relates to each topic we have studied. Firstly, I will talk about class. The Occupy movement was a movement with a cause. Their goal was to expose the truth about inequality between the rich and the poor. According to Occupy Together, Occupy aims to fight back against a system that has allowed the rich to get richer and the poor to get poorer. They no longer want the wealthiest to hold all the power to write the rules governing an unbalanced and inequitable global economy and thus foreclosing on our future. In our society, we learn about different classes: upper, middle, and lower class. However, income inequality has grown so much that the middle class has now become the lower class. So there is a wide gap that separates us into the upper class or the lower class, or the rich and the poor. A person could have a big house, car, and everything society says a person should have to have a good life, but according to Alternate, the Great Recession shows that nowadays it only takes one pink slip, foreclosure notice, or catastrophic medical bill to push economically secure people into the ranks of the poor. Even people with college diplomas and impressive resumes. However, during the recession, the rich did not suffer as greatly as the poor. For instance, according to USA Today, the CEO's median pay in 2010 jumped 27% from 7.1 million in 2009, one of the largest increases in recent history. This shows how the rich keeps getting richer while the poor are struggling to make ends meet. In our past assignment, Bruce Robbins wrote that the term public is not one group but a series of publics. In society today, there are different publics. In terms of the Occupy movement, the poor was classed as the 99 percenters, while the rich the 1 percenters. Publics are treated differently, and today the 99 percenters are treated much differently than the 1 percenters. According to Slate, in terms of income, about 2/3 of all income gains went to the top 1% of the households. The top 1% saw their incomes increase more than 10% per year, adjusted for inflation. The 99% saw their incomes increase a measly 1.3% per year. And the trend goes back further, as noted by Tim Noah in his excellent Slate series on inequality. From 1980 until 2005, the 99% saw just 1/5 of the overall gains in income. Another issue that the 99 percenters face, because they belong to a different public than the 1 percenters, is taxes. The richest seem to get big breaks from tax loopholes but the poor are being taxed heavily on the little income they have. According to Bankrate, ordinary taxpayers pay tax on their earnings at ordinary income tax rate up to 35%. The really rich, however, are different from us in that they tend to make most of their money via investments, and so they are only taxed 15%. This data emphasizes the issues that the Occupy movement sees in today's society and how this is unfair to those that belong to the 99 percenters. In terms of property, the poor or the 99 percenters do not have much. The rich owns all the businesses, lands, factories, and other material assets that has enabled them to acquire more and more wealth. According to thinkprogress.org, the top 1% of Americans own half of the country's stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. The Institute for Policy Studies illustrates this massive disparity in financial investment ownership, noting that the bottom 50% of Americans only own 0.5% of these investments. Stocks, bonds, and mutual funds enables people to have a share in a company. So if a person has a 50% share in a company, they basically own 50% of that company. So being able to invest in stocks and bonds is an advantage for the rich because they are able to make money from the profits of the companies they invest in. So this has enabled the rich to stay rich, but the poor hardly gets any money or any kind of income for them to acquire these assets, so they stay poor. And although the Occupy movement ended without solving any of the important issues we are facing, they did succeed in bringing the issues to light. They were able to show Americans and other people around the world how we are being treated unfairly by those that have more power in society because they are richer. This may help to start another movement in the future that may help to finally change how this system of inequality is.